are all the ingredients that you're going to need to make an amazing banana bread, except these are not the type of bananas you want to use if you want to have an amazing banana bread, okay? These bananas are ripe, they're good and ripe, but you want the skins on your bananas to be brown, good and brown, but you don't want the actual banana to be mushy. So it needs to turn brown, but still be firm to the touch. Where if you really wanted to eat it like that, you could. Those are the bananas that you want to keep. Stop throwing your bananas away. When they get like that and your skin is good and brown, but they're still firm, and you're like, oh, yuck. You don't really want to eat it like as a banana or on top of some cereal or something. Take the banana out of the skin and freeze it. I like to freeze my bananas whole. That way, if it calls for 2 bananas or 3 bananas, I know exactly how much I get. They can last in the freezer for like ever, okay? So don't grab your nice ripe bananas because they need to be overly ripened. Okay, so I'm gonna run through the ingredients real quick, then I'm gonna bring you all up closer so we can go ahead and get our banana bread made. Now, your bananas, they should look like this. See how nice and brown these are? These bananas have been frozen and now they are mashed. But this is what they should look like in order to bring out that real nice sweetness. You're gonna need some brown sugar, sour cream, eggs, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, butter, vanilla, flour, and if you're going to use nuts, you'll need nuts. I have some walnuts here. You can use walnuts, pecans, peanuts. You can use any nuts you want, or you can simply leave them out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take our pan and we're going to put melted butter all over the inside of the pan, including your edges at the top, because just in case your banana bread rises very high and goes over the edge, you want that part to be covered as well. Now, although we are buttering the inside now, we will be putting parchment paper on it as well. Okay, once you've gotten that taken care of, go ahead, grab you some parchment paper, and you're going to put the parchment paper in it just like this so that it will overhang on the edges. Doesn't need to be perfect or anything like that. You just want some hanging over the edges so that when your banana bread is all said and done, you can lift it out. Okay, now we're going to go in again and put more melted butter on top of our parchment paper. This is just going to ensure that your banana bread comes out of the pan. Once you have your pan all done, go ahead and set it aside. Grab another dish, and at this point you want to go ahead and preheat your oven. You should preheat it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Now, we need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and you need to spoon it in and level it off. That means take a spoon and put it in your measuring cup. Don't dip your measuring cup inside of your flour. Spoon it in like this. Then when you get a nice amount, take the spoon, or you can take any flat edge if you want to use a knife. I just use my spoon and level it off. Do that for both cups. After you have your flour in your bowl, go ahead. We're adding in baking soda, a little salt, and cinnamon. Take a regular whisk and whisk that all together. Then we're going to set this aside. Now, in a much larger bowl, you want to add in your brown sugar. And I like to take a fork because it should be packed brown sugar. Take a fork or something and just kind of break it up a little bit. It's going to make it easier to mix. Now to that, add in your butter. Now, using a hand or stand mixer and a whisk attachment. You want to make sure you use the whisk attachment. If you don't have a whisk attachment, you can use the beaters, but if at all possible, use the whisk attachment to your stand or hand mixer. We're going to beat this on high for approximately 2 minutes until it's nice, smooth, and creamy. Next is our eggs, and I never like to crack my eggs or put my eggs directly into my mix. I always crack them in a smaller bowl first, just to make sure they're good. And we need to put these eggs in while the mixer is running, one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure both of them are ready to go. Okay, now you want to start your mixer first before incorporating your eggs and beat well after each addition. Okay, now we're going to add in our mashed bananas, sour cream, and vanilla. Mix this until it's combined. Now, once you have your banana, sour cream, and vanilla combined, we need to add in our dry ingredients, our flour mixture. You want to have your mixer running on low while you're adding in your flour, and you want to mix it just until there's no more flour pockets. Do not over mix it. And make sure you are mixing your flour in on low. Okay, now we're going to fold in our walnuts. And when I say fold in, that's not stirring, that's not mixing, it's folding. You want to put your utensil, spoon, spatula, whatever you're using, to the farthest part of your bowl away from you. I'm going to start at this edge. And you want to bring it back to you and literally fold it over. Going down towards the bottom, pulling everything through, folding it over, and then you can move your spatula around in different areas just to make sure it's all folded over. You don't want to stir like this because that's mixing again, and you will over mix it and it will probably be tough. So we want to just gently fold your nuts in. You don't have to stay in the same spot, but this is the motion that you want to use in order to fold in your nuts, okay? And if you grab a little of the flour that's around the edge of the bowl, just make sure you kind of incorporate that as well. And make sure that you don't have any nuts that are all in just one spot, okay? All right. Now we're going to pour our batter into our pan. Okay, once you have it in the pan, go ahead and spread it out, making sure you have an even amount in your corners. That's going to make your bread come out more even. So push that down into the corners. Just kind of smooth out your top a little bit. Now we're going to bake this in a 350-degree oven for about an hour. Everyone's oven is different. A lot of people are in different altitudes, which can affect your baking time as well. So at that hour point, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before, take a skewer, and you want to use a skewer or either longer, thicker toothpick, or even maybe something like a steak knife, something thin and long to go down to the bottom, all right? Because you can't just stick it in the top and think it's done. It probably will be, but then you'll need to push it all the way down to make sure. Also, too, we're doing this starting off for an hour. At the halfway mark, which is about 30 minutes in, you want to go in and loosely lay a piece of foil over the top so that it will not over brown. Also, your oven rack should be on the lower third half of your oven. If you have a choice to move your rack, move it towards the bottom. Okay, we're going to get this baked and we'll be back. Ooh, okay, we should be done. You need to get a skewer because a toothpick is not going to be large enough. Oh my goodness, look at this. Doesn't this look amazing? Now this is straight out of the oven, so we need to let it cool. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? We need to let it cool before we cut into it, but we have to make sure it's done first. So I'm gonna take the skewer, the pointy part of the skewer, and stick it right down in the middle, which is the thickest part of the bread. And it should come out clean. Okay, so we are done. We'll let it cool and we'll be back. Oh, okay, we are all cool. So we're gonna take it out. You should be able to lift this up. That's why you have the edges here. So hopefully it will lift right on up. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Move our pan out the way. And because I buttered it and we did all that, you see how easy it came off of the parchment paper? And I like to show the bottoms when I can and I can remember so you can see just how well it looks. Look at that. Look at that bread. Doesn't that look amazing? Okay, we are going to slice into this. Ooh, this looks delicious. Oh man. Ooh, look at that slice. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Look at that, look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, we are going to do our taste test. Ooh. Look at that, look at that. Look at that amazing banana bread. It smells so good. Oh. You know, banana bread goes good for breakfast, for dessert, for just a snack. Put a little butter on it, heat it up. Amazing. Put it with some ice cream or dessert. Amazing. Oh, ooh, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 1.5 million subscribers together. Who, my returning subscribers, thank you so much. And channel members, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to check out my other channels, Pam's POV, where I do other tips, tricks, and hacks, Pam's Pop-Ups, where I go live, cooking, gardening, whatever, and at the Scaredy Cat Gardener, all on YouTube. Okay, let's go ahead and taste this. I need a cup of coffee. Oh my goodness, this just smells divine. It's still warm. I can taste the cinnamon and the walnuts in here. Do not forget, do not use regular bananas. Make sure they are good and ripe. And I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.